Joe, I just noticed what you threw up there in the upper right-hand corner. Really?
Yep.
It's love, Gary. It's love.
It's nothing but love.
It's Gary getting hit in the biscuits.
Right in the biscuits.
And what I love, though, is now Gary is in the window, and then inside the window is Gary getting hit in the biscuits.
Nice. As you do.
It was a terrible idea to put me in charge of the StreamYard because you knew I was going to do something like this.
Well, I've questioned that for a while. Who gave you administrative access?
Thank you. Yeah. Lindros knows. Other Gary knows. He gets it, man.
Oh, yeah.
So, guys,
Gary's are infamous it-getters.
I knew that. I had heard that. Ladies and gentlemen, it is 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern, and whatever time it is you're watching this. If you're not watching it live.
If you're not watching it live, what's wrong with you?
Seriously, what is wrong with you?
You stream everything else, you know.
Yeah. Here is the thing. This is the best thing you could possibly be doing right now, except for, I have no idea. There's nothing else. It's just us. Welcome to the American Sci-Fi Classics Track Quarantine Panel. Tonight is a very special night because it is a birthday celebration for Mr. Gary Mitchel right there. And
yes, as Kevin Cafferty just said, it's Gary Night Live.
So here's what we're going to do in honor of his birthday. First of all, what we're going to do is have him compete for the title of his own name.
You have no idea how heavy the other part weighs on you after a year.
Yeah. Yes. Here's the thing. Now, as I understand it, there are other people named Gary that have joined the Classic Track Clubhouse, but they have not stepped up to the plate, so to speak, like co-star, unindicted co-conspirator Gary Mitchel and our pal Gary Lindros. So, like we did last year or a few months ago, it's all a blur. We are now going to have a competition.
Yes.
To decide who
the best Gary.
The ultimate Gary is what's going to happen here. After that, we're going to read questions that Gary must answer submitted by you guys in the Classic Track Clubhouse. But first, now it is time for the ultimate Gary competition. 2 Garys enter, 1 Gary Garys.
Take it easy on me, Gary. Take it easy on me. Oh, gee.
Okay, here are the stakes. Here are the stakes. The winner gets to remain Gary and have the title of Ultimate Gary. We are the champion, and whose record currently is 1-0 is Gary Mitchel.
Undefeated.
Fluke.
Runner up is is Mr. Gary Lindros, who, and here is what you get if you lose. For the duration of your podcasting appearances or other nerdy things that you do, you from your loss until the next competition, you will be referred to as, and you must refer to yourself as, Other Gary. And when someone asks you, what does that mean? Why are you the other Gary? If you're on some podcast 3 months from now, you have to tell them in excruciating detail.
Any details involving me are excruciating. Yeah. So,
well, I have to say, when I came into the track room, I had people actually yell "Other Gary." It was very nice.
Oh, excellent. So here's how it's going to work.
But he deserves it now.
You should be very pleased with yourself at that comment.
Here's how it's going to work. 5 questions related to... Hang on. What's that? All right. So here's what we're going to do. 5 trivia questions. and I shall ask them of you individually and then score you appropriately. Whoever has the highest score then becomes the ultimate Gary. In the eventuality of a tie, then I have bonus questions. And if that turns into a tie, then I think one of you has to drive to the other one's house and you have to actually fight.
No. If it is a tie at that point, we are the merged Gary.
I don't like you quite that much, Gary.
Two Garys combined become Gary.
The Wonder Garys?
Yes.
No, but you become good Gary.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's a whole
Okay,
it's a Tuvix situation all over again.
It's a Tuvix situation.
Oh, geez. Are we ready for that flame war right now, right here?
Yes. Here we go. All right. So the flame war begins. So Gary, as current Ultimate Gary, you may go first or you may go after other Gary.
I believe that I will allow my opponent to take the field first.
Okay.
A scholar and a gentleman. Who? I don't know, but yeah.
All right. So, Mr. Gary Mitchel.
I will take off the headset and partake of a lovely almond joy.
Ooh.
Almond joy. The joy of almonds, ladies and gentlemen.
Indeed.
Okay. Question number 1 for other Gary, now that your headphones are off.
Okay. Bring it up.
All right.
You see how he taunts me with his eyes. Just look at him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that's okay. I'm above that. Yes.
Which famous Gary, known for his live action roles, has also done the cartoon voices of Black Adam and Freddy's father in Scooby-Doo and Leonardo da Vinci on Star Trek Lower Decks.
Jesus.
Well-known live-action Gary.
I know it. Oh, wait. Well, oh, jeez. Gary Shandling? No, that's all right. No, I don't know. Oh, I can see this mustache too. Son of a gun. Oh.
Okay. Question number 2.
Yes.
What comedian is a politician in the Marvel Cinematic Universe who turned out to be an agent of Hydra?
That's Gary Shandling. That one I know. Yes.
You are correct.
Oh, thank gosh, it's not a goose egg.
Oh, I shouldn't have told you if you're correct or not. All right. Question number 3.
Yes.
Which famous Gary has appeared as or has appeared in a Guns N' Roses video as Commissioner Gordon and was in not one but 2 things, a movie and a TV show, with Joey from Friends? Live action Gary.
Live action Gary, Friends.
Guns N' Roses video. He played Commissioner Gordon and also was in 2 things with Joey from Friends.
Oh, geez, this is not looking good at all. Oh, gosh. I can only hope he's dumber than I am.
That's possible.
Yeah, look at him. Yeah. No, I'm drawn. Just time me out, sir.
Are you sure?
Gary.
If you think of it later, I will. As we're going down the remaining 2 questions. If you think of it later, I will allow you.
Thank you, sir.
To way back in. All right, now. In the movie Point Break.
Yes.
Which famous Gary said, "Speak into the microphone, squid brain"?
Gary Busey.
You are correct. Again, I should not have revealed to you the correct answer, but there you go.
Yes.
Okay. One remaining question.
All right.
Okay. Gary Mitchel,
Yes.
famous TV guy, brother of Laverne from Laverne and Shirley. I'm going to name 3 sitcoms or TV shows from the 60s and 70s that he appeared in.
Okay.
One of them I'm completely making up. One of them is not real.
Okay.
The other 2 are. You tell me the one.
The appearance or the show?
The show.
Okay.
Yeah, no. That's a little too arcane. A little too, even for me. No, here's the thing. I name these 3 shows. You tell me which one I just made up.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Show number 1. Who's Watching the Kids? Show number 2. Lipschitz for the Defense. Show number 3. Me and the Chimp. Which of those shows did I make up?
Who's Watching the Kids?
Incorrect.
Oh.
Who's Watching the Kids was a show about showgirls who each had younger siblings.
Okay.
That was a real show. Okay.
Wait, so could I find out if Lipschitz was an actual show?
Lipschitz was the one I made up.
Oh, geez, that sounds like it would have been a good one. Oh, God.
Because I'm excellent, man.
Why you weren't in LA doing programming? I just still, it still boggles my mind.
Back in the 60s.
Yeah.
With Gary Mitchel.
Yes.
All right. Here is the score. Now I'm not going to tell Gary Mitchel this.
Yes.
Here is the score, and we're going to let him go through all 5,
Mm.
even if he gets. All right. So your score is 2 out of 5. Okay. Gary Mitchel, you can come back now. How do we tell him? I don't know if that's going to work.
I think he's got it. Yeah. Almost. If he's done with his almond joy, maybe. Yeah.
Has he been humiliated yet?
Are you done with your almond joy?
Yeah.
Yes. I have
was it?
devoured. Oh, it was nutty and coconutty and chocolatey and delicious.
I would just like to say, sir.
Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yes, sir.
Regardless of how this turns out and how badly you lose, I would just like to say that I enjoy our competitions immensely.
Yes, it is wonderful to have someone worthy to pit your metal against.
Yes, as I try to explain to someone I was in a contest of Gary's, I failed utterly, but I don't know that I could have succeeded in any possible way.
Well, even a loss is a win when you lose to someone that good.
Fair enough.
Yes. Thank you, everybody, as well, who said happy birthday. Bobby Nash, I think I saw him in here, and I see our good friend Matricula. We love you.
Mr. Gary Lindros, current other Gary, I think I only asked you 4 questions.
Come to think of it, you could be correct. It might not matter, but,
I'll ask the 5th question of you both.
Okay.
But other Gary, you can hang out since you've already answered the other 4.
Fair enough.
Okay. So we're going to ask your 5th and Gary's 1st question first. So, because of course, it's gone completely off the rails.
What are the odds in this place?
Wait, we had rails?
You know, like the bumper guards when you're playing, bowling as a child. Those kind of,
Indeed.
yeah.
What do you mean as a child?
Sorry.
Wait, you know what,
Sorry,
Gary?
I shouldn't have assumed.
Gary, I apologize. I did ask you 5 questions.
It just went so fast that, so fast and easy and just flowed that, I didn't realize it went there.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah, Chris Cummins, you are correct. A gathering of Garys is a grumble of Garys.
A grumble. Yeah, I like that.
That's
Yes.
good. I like it.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Now, okay. So, Gary, other Gary, you can hang out and watch Ultimate Gary attempt his questions on the field of battle. Question number 1, Ultimate Gary.
Yes, sir.
Which live action Gary who's known, thank you, other Gary. That's great. Which live action Gary, who is known for his live action roles in animation, has done the voices of Black Adam and Freddy's father on Scooby-Doo?
That is
Leonardo da Vinci on Star Trek Lower Decks.
Gary Frank, isn't it?
Okay. Question number 2. What comedian is a politician in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and turned out to be an agent of Hydra?
Oh, that was after his failed run as a talk show host, Gary Shandling.
Question number 3. Okay. Which well-known Gary has been in a Guns N' Roses video, has played Commissioner Gordon, and also was in 2 things with Joey from Friends?
Oh, I know it. Was this the one I was able to answer later?
It was. And I did not limit you.
Oh, Gary Oldman.
Okay, there is your answer. Gary Lindros, I did not tell you. I said you can answer it later if you think of it, but I didn't tell you couldn't answer it while Ultimate Gary was answering. So I will allow you to take a guess.
Gary Oldman.
This feels like cheating.
We don't know if either one of you had it right.
It could have been Gary Owens.
That's true.
Okay, question
Once
number
you go
4.
Owens. Yeah.
Question number 4. In the movie Point Break, which famous Gary said, "Speaking of the microphone, squid brain"?
Gary Busey.
Okay. Your final question. Gary Marshall, famous
Genius.
TV genius, brother of Laverne.
Mm-hmm.
He has been worked on many, many sitcoms and other shows over the course of a 50-something, 60-something career before he passed away. I'm going to name for you 3 television series. One of them, not real.
Okay.
One of them I completely made up.
All right.
So you tell me, which one did I make up?
The one with Manimal in it.
Here are those 3 shows. Gary Marshall shows. Oh, I apologize. Show number 1. Who's Watching the Kids? Show number 2. Lip Shits for the Defense. Show number 3. Me and the Chimp. Which one of those shows is not real?
You said Who's Watching the Kids, Lip Shits for the Defense, and
Me and the Chimp.
Me and the Chimp. I'm going to say you couldn't get the name Lipschitz on the air in the 70s.
Final score. Here we go.
You know he's just going to tell us the score. He's not going to tell us what the answers were.
Other Gary, 3. Ultimate Gary, 4. Ultimate Gary wins again.
That's right. You come at the king, you better not miss.
Oh, geez, but I got closer this year. Every year, just a little closer. He warned, Mr. Mitchell.
Feel
Within
the power.
Within
the
one.
Power.
Watch your back.
And I thought, man, we need to do this more often than 12 months.
Yes.
But because
right.
Gary Mitchell reminded me, because I would have forgotten, here are the actual answers to the questions. What Gary, live action Gary, has done the voices of Black Adam and Freddy's father in Scooby-Doo and Leonardo da Vinci on Star Trek Lower Decks? That was Gary Cole.
Oh.
Office
Yeah, I was
Space.
thinking Owens for a second, but then he couldn't have done Lower Deck. So
I love Gary Cole. He is so good as Harvey Birdman.
There are a lot. I felt like, and I was going to say, that would have given it away.
Yeah.
I feel like, had I said Harvey Birdman. Question number 2, what comedian was a politician, also an agent of Hydra? You both got that one. Gary Shandling. Question number 3. This is kind of my favorite one. My second favorite. The Gary that was in a Guns N' Roses video, who played Commissioner Gordon, and was in 2 things with Joey from Friends. That was Gary Oldman.
Mm-hmm.
He was in an episode of Friends, and then, of course, he was in Lost in Space, also with Joey.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
Which Guns N' Roses video was it?
I would have to look it up again. But I'm going to do it. Here we go.
It is the shallow depth of knowledge on the show that I enjoy so much.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I can know things, but I can't remember things.
Unless it's Manimal, yes, I know.
Oh, I know all about that.
I'm sure you do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sirius Black, Call of Duty, Christmas Carol. Where was it? Oh, it's way down here. Greg the Bunny. Fun show. He played himself on Greg the Bunny. Fifth Element. I forgot that he was in
Of
Fifth
course.
Element.
Yeah, that was one nice hairpiece, yeah.
Since I Don't Have You. That was the Guns N'
Okay.
Roses video.
And Kevin Cafferty just posted that as well.
Cafferty. Okay, so that was question number 3. Question number 4, I picked out this quote for you, Gary. And when I saw the quote, I thought I have to use this one. Gary Busey did indeed say that in Point Break.
Yes.
Question number 5, my favorite. Who's Watching the Kids was a real show.
Mm-hmm.
Me and the Chimp, also a real show.
Ha ha.
Yeah.
For the Defense, not a real show.
Geez, but don't you want it to be?
I mean, look,
That would have been a great show.
you're welcome.
Yeah, it's
But
like but thankfully my knowledge of 1970 standards and practices once again turns out to be a useful thing.
But see, Sanford and Son said lip shits all the time.
That's true.
Yeah.
Kathleen, good stuff. She bet it all on Gary.
Well, that was a safe bet, Kathleen.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who's going to win? Gary.
Gary.
Yep. Thank you, Kathleen. But
Yeah, and it was about question 3 when I twigged on to the fact that these were all going to be Gary-based questions.
I know last year they were not. Joe just keeps mixing it up.
Yeah.
last year there were Gary adjacent questions and Gary related questions. This year, straight up Gary questions.
No, always have your Gary straight up.
Yes.
Yes,
mixing.
I had a couple of tiebreaker questions, and here is one of them. Gary is the for real first name of one of the characters on The Simpsons who works in the education profession. Who is it? The first name of a character
Gary.
who works at the school. I guess I should be more clear with my question.
I mean, look at the track we're in. We need help. Come on.
Yeah.
He's in education. He works in education on The Simpsons. His first name is Gary, but he's more popularly known by
Sideshow Bob.
no. Lindros, other Gary, you gotta guess.
Principal Skinner? No.
Very close.
Oh.
Superintendent Chalmers. His first name is Gary. Okay, so that's precisely the reaction I wanted. Could you both? Cafferty gets it. Could you both do that reaction one more time? Both of you. Yeah, that's exactly.
That's going to be someone's ringtone by the end of the night.
Yeah.
Yep. So, ladies and gentlemen, now it is time for the other part of our celebration of Gary's.
Mm-hmm.
We're so happy that you guys are here. By the way, thank you for coming and hanging out with us. We love you guys. We love doing the quarantine panels. Thank you guys for tuning in. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Gary, should they delicately press that like button or
they should smash that like button?
Smash it. Smash the button.
Love it real good. Yep.
Love it. Really good.
The way you have to do it now on YouTube is like, share, subscribe.
Boom.
Hit the bell. Yeah, it's somewhere down here.
Okay.
Oh,
questions
man,
for.
Can I get in a question before we go to the list?
Yeah.
Okay, I've had something that's been driving me crazy, Gary. Are you ready?
It's a topical cream.
Yep. No, that's not it.
Oh.
Who is your least favorite Herculoid and why?
Oh. Tough.
That's a tough one.
Go right for the Hanna-Barbera. Don't mess around. Go right for the jugular. There you go.
I'm going to say it's probably the big Triceratops one because he's got to be hell to clean up after when you take him for a walk. I mean, all those legs stomping over everything.
The shooting of the fireballs.
I was always assuming that's the way it came out.
Yeah. Well, I can't say it's the giant rock monkey because it'll kill you.
Yes.
Yeah, he will kill you. Yes.
And Gloop and Gleep are just, well, it's not that kind of panel, but
Yes.
That's weird.
That's after dark. Thank you. Okay. Way after.
All right.
Well, thank you very much for sharing your wisdom. Thank you.
Good night. And Mr. Lindros, you can also answer these questions.
Mr. Lindros is hanging out with us for the duration.
I'm here. Yep.
Okay, we are starting off. We're gonna start off hot. We're gonna start off.
Yeah. Yes, Deanna smashed like Oz smashed me in the biscuits. Yes.
Jeez Louise, Deanna is in the comments.
Yep, she is. She also likes a twisted Gary, so.
Okay. Starting out hot from Keith DeCandido, who wrote the Book of Love. Let's start out with other Gary. Who wrote the Book of Love? I would say there are no wrong answers, but I mean there probably are.
The Chandrels? No.
Mitchell?
Well, I was thinking of more along the esoteric lines of who wrote the actual Book of Love, and I was going to say first Al Green.
We don't have to. The trivia. Other Gary, I respect your attempts at continuing to answer trivia questions.
Okay.
The contest is over.
Fair enough.
Yes. But I would say Al Green wrote it and then Prince updated it.
Let's say that. That's good. I like it. That's a good answer.
Because as the Bloodhound Gang tells us, things that only Prince would sing about.
Oh, That, when you look back, that Bloodhound gang, they had mouths on them, those young men. All right. I had all their albums. And saw them live at DragonCon.
Very nice.
They were in...
and in the comments, Sherman dropping the knowledge of all the different names of the creatures on the Herculoids.
Oh, like we didn't know that already, Sherman?
I sat next to Sherman. I sat right down at one of the panels and just sat down right next to him, and we hit it right off, and then I didn't even know it was him till after.
Oh, that's Sherman.
Yeah. I was like, oh.
Sherman's a wonderful human being.
But Bloodhound Gang at the DragonCon many years ago, before I was a panelist and or co-director. The room, I dare say, got bonkers, rowdy. It was a metal crowd, and there was a security man upon the stage attempting to regain order, and the lead singer of the Bloodhound Gang verbally abused that poor man, and that stuck with me. And I said, maybe I don't verbally abuse the people who are in charge of my safety.
Yes.
For future reference.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Question number 2. Let's see here. This question is from Michael Faulkner.
Oh.
The Home Alone franchise obviously needs fresh ideas. The studio hires you to write and cast Home Alone in space. What is the plot and who's in it? Let's start with Gary Mitchel.
Well, it's definitely, you still have to have Catherine O'Hara in there as the mom.
Oh, yeah.
She's just now Space Mom.
Yep.
The plot is they're going to SETI Alpha 5. And a young boy is abandoned on the space station, and I cast I'm gonna say we use time travel, and we're casting Bill Mummy. We're gonna go back and get 10-year-old Bill Mummy.
That poor jerk. The poor guy. I was already lost in space. Now I'm home alone.
They wouldn't let him on the remake when it was the same, when it was the guy who's supposed to be the same age as him. Exactly. So you think they're going to let him on now? Come on. He's like, oh great, this is in the bag. They want somebody who's like in their late 40s, and that's me. And they said, I'm sorry, you really don't fit the role.
Nope. Okay. Mr. Lindros, what about you with the Home Alone franchise?
Okay, well, what I'll say is that the space station is something's happening, and like the self-destruct went on, and so everyone's leaving the space station as quickly as they can. And of course, I will defer to having Miss O'Hara as mother.
Yeah.
But so everyone's trying to leave the space station. Then they find out it wasn't really exploding after all, and they left the child. However, I will go with the updated casting and go cast an actual a young girl in the role instead to give us a little balance there, a little more flavor. And I just saw the new Ghostbusters, and Grace McKenna, who's the main character on it, I think would be very good. A little on the older side, hitting that early teenage years, but I think she would be very good. She's quite geeky, and I think she knows her way around gadgets and stuff, and I think it would be she'd be a nice fit.
So both of you, a question for both of you, who are the burglars? No one has mentioned the
the burglars.
Home Alone burglars and Home Alone in space.
I'm gonna say Gary Oldman and
hey buddy.
And Patrick Stewart.
I like it.
I really want to say Michael Caine, even though I know he's recently retired. And
He'd come out of retirement for this.
yes,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna stay old fashioned. I'm gonna say Dick Van Dyke, both of them. I could see him floating around in Zero G. I could see that being a lot of fun.
That actually sounds hilarious.
Yes.
That would be tremendous. That would be tremendous. Oh, okay, now back to the questions. All right. Can I make my mouse work? My cat laid down on the mouse pad. It's okay, though. Not a euphemism. My cat actually did. Let me see if I can. Where is he? Okay. Buddy? Huh?
Kitty!
I was almost expecting more books on his bookcase, but I really shouldn't have.
More books. Oh, I've got books. Not where humans can see them? I don't know. All right.
Ooh, nice.
So good. All right. Now, next question. All right. From our friend Deanna.
Oh, yes.
Oh, God.
Which one of you would look best in the chainmail dress from Beyond Thunderdome? Follow-up question, how much waxing would be involved? Now, my assumption is Deanna was referring to, when she said, which one of you, me and Gary. But
No.
other Gary is here, so I say he has to answer the question as well.
Okay.
Which one of you would look best in the chainmail dress from Beyond Thunderdome? Let's go to other Gary. Which one of you would look best?
Oh, I think it has to be me. I have rather shapely calves, and for some reason I don't quite understand. All the hair is pretty much from the knees up, so it's provided it hits at least the knee. I have very little waxing required, so yeah, I'm going with myself. And some people have said my ankles are fetching, so yeah.
I like it.
Yes, I will definitely agree that I believe that other Gary would look much better in the chainmail, especially because I will not be waxing. So it's going to look like somebody has a one of those Brillo pads that has not been properly cleaned.
Oh. Oh. Where are we?
Images I don't need. Yeah.
You're welcome.
And so my answer, I think this is the only unanimous answer tonight is I also believe Gary Lindros would look best in the chainmail from Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. As Kevin Cafferty pointed out, we really do not need another hero.
I love the fact that our good friend Beck Pano I got a damn out of her.
All right. We do have a question from Beck. I'll get to that shortly.
Cool.
Okie dokie. Let's see. This is pretty intense. Let's go ahead. Let's go take a deep dive, so to speak, for this one. It is from your favorite Michael.
Oh.
Which
him, yeah. Okay.
Opening up a can of worms that can open worms everywhere. Here is your question. In the Babylon 5 universe.
You have my attention.
What sort of genitalia do the Narn have?
Fetching.
Particularly Jakar. Be gratuitously specific and speak with a breathy, erotic flair. These are the commands. These are the instructions in the question. Jakar, what sort of genitalia?
Jakar, huh?
Well, we know the Narns have pleasure thresholds.
Oh.
So I'm going to say that, and you said to do it in a breathy voice?
Yep.
I believe that Jakar has quite fetching genitalia. You know. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. Hang on, Billy.
Did I get in on the wrong panel? Where?
I think you did.
All I know is Jessa, who is off over there, said that she has no idea what is going on, but she is now disturbed.
Aren't we all? Yes.
We're only 40 minutes in. I'm surprised that that's a record. We managed to make it 40 minutes before.
Hey, I haven't been booted yet.
Yeah, it's your birthday.
Oh,
it's your birthday. It's your birthday.
It's your birthday.
I meant to mention this before. If you're wondering why there's an inset image of Gary in the upper right corner, I should have mentioned that is a little video of Gary getting punched in the narns, right in the pleasure threshold, if you will, that we captured on video with our friend Oz at the behest of our other friend, Deanna Toxopius.
Yes.
And when I say our other friend, that doesn't mean we only have two. That is not what that means. We have many friends. All of you guys are our friends. Hashtag pleasure thresholds. Here we go. All right.
All right. So, other Gary,
okay, so
you want to weigh in on the Babylon 5 situation is what we're asking.
Yes, and then while
I hope Matricula is still watching.
Yeah. While Londo always referred to it as rather small and they were rather fast in the action, I realized this was all a lie and PR because he has grand and glorious attributes.
Oh, wow. Yes. Oh my.
Yeah.
Oh my. Okay, all right. I think. Well, good night, everybody. Okay. All right.
Oh well, look at the time.
Yeah, look at the time. We're closing down early. All right. Here's a question from our pal Anthony Davis. Which of the Three Stooges was the best? Let's start with Ultimate Gary Mitchel.
Everybody says Curly, and they're usually right. But I'm a Shemp guy.
A lot of stuff going on with Shemp. In those early cartoons, you felt like Shemp doesn't need to be there. Shemp is like, look, guys, what's happening? And meanwhile, Mo and Larry are just like, let's just destroy, let's rain down hellfire upon the entire world. Well, that's Mo, I guess, not really Larry.
That is Mo. As our good friend Beck says, which of the Three Stooges?
That is correct.
Yes.
Wait.
Larry, Mo, Curly, Shemp, Curly Joe.
Oh, there's three Curlies. That's right.
Mm-hmm. And
Are
Joe
there
Besser.
Three Curlies?
No, it's Joe Besser.
Dang it. You're correct. Okay. I should know my Joes, for goodness sake.
He is the Jim Belushi of the Stooges.
I'm really not sensing a love for Larry, who was really the glue of the entire organization. You had the Curlies and the Shemps at one end. You had Mo at the one end. Who's right there in the middle, holding it all together? Larry.
Yeah,
I'm with you, sir, because Mo, of course, agent of chaos.
Yes.
Yeah.
All the other Curlies just doing their curly business. Well, Mo,
they're just coming in for lunch, and they're on their way. Oh, who's here today? Let's see. I don't know.
Yeah. No. Let me correct myself. What I mean to say is, Larry indeed was the glue. Mo was the one trying to lord it over everybody and keep them in line. Right. While whichever Curly or Shemp you choose, nutso, bonkers, chaos, anarchy.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite stories I heard, and I forget which comedian told this story now, and it's driving me crazy, said that he and his friends found out that Larry, the actual, the guy was living in a retirement home in Hollywood and found the phone number for it. So they decided, well, let's call. And they did not expect, but they actually, they called the number and they're like, yeah, we want to talk to Larry. And after a few minutes, he actually comes on the phone. They're like, he's like, yeah, what do you want? And they're like, we didn't expect to get this far. He's like, look, I already came all the way down here to the phone. Talk about something.
That's so tremendous. Okay, here we go with our next question. This one is from Kyle Tiny Murder Pins McCraw, hanger of track room banners and finisher of bad pizzas.
Yes.
Is there a bad pizza? Is there such a thing? I'm not positive.
There was a Dragon Con this year. Sadly.
Oh, hours, yeah.
My worst pizza was at my very first convention, and it should have put me off conventions forever. It's a good thing it didn't. I would never have met you people. But the very first convention pizza at a convention I had, it was, you have tomato sauce on pizzas?
Mm-hmm.
Some pizzas have that. This one had no tomato sauce. This one was from a diner near the hotel, and it had, you lifted up the cheese covering, and there were actual slices of tomato.
Oh, God.
Oh, like a nice margarita pie without the sauce. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They were out of their time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was outraged, I dare say. Kyle Tiny Murder Pins McCraw's question is, what do you feel is the, quote, worst crime committed against the sci-fi genre? Bad casting choices, bad adaptations of movies, etc., etc., etc. Let us begin with Other Gary.
I want to say that this field is large and expansive, but honestly, the first thing that came to mind was Battlefield Earth. It's horrible in script level, production level, acting levels. Gosh, where can't you pick at with that show?
Forrest Whitaker is doing the best he can.
Yes.
And yes,
even he couldn't save it, and he could usually save most things. So that's how bad that was. Yes, it's just for someone for a author who supposedly is way up there in the annals of science fiction, the production of his material is really bad and almost consistently. So I wonder if that's just some way to get back at him for Dianetics. I'm not sure. Yeah.
All I know is I have Tom Cruise for you on line 1.
Oh, that would be a
no. He's waiting in. Yeah. He's waiting outside your window. Okay.
For me, Battlefield Earth tripped across my brain as well. But I say the biggest crime has to be when some movie producer said, "Yeah, we'll let Uwe Boll make a movie."
Oh, Uwe Boll.
Yeah.
Is he still with us? Is he still on the material plane?
He is alive. I don't think he's making movies anymore. I think he finally ran out of Nazi gold.
Back in the early 2000s, when we were doing a regular nerdy website thing, didn't he put out a challenge to box?
Yes, he
critics?
was going to be. Yes, he put out a challenge. He was doing the movie Postal and challenged any movie critic to come and be in the movie to box him. And he neglected to tell anybody that he'd actually been a boxing champion when he was in college. And he proceeded to beat the crap out of some poor guy. And
I recall,
that's one heck of a rebuttal. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually threw my hat in the ring, and he said I was too heavy. And I said, "Sir, I do the treadmill. I think you're just afraid of me." And he responded to that with, no, the weight limit is the weight limit, but if you come up here, I'll give you a cameo. And unfortunately, I could not afford travel to Canada. So I was almost in a Uwe Boll movie.
Oh my gosh. I did not know the rest of that story, Gary.
Yes.
What is it with physical confrontations and people in the genre business and you and me, Gary? What the
I
heck?
don't know.
I'm going to say this. I think you could have took him.
Oh,
because
absolutely. I'd have gotten to meet Dave Foley.
Was he in that awful movie?
Yeah.
He was.
Oh no. I'm sorry, Dave Foley. Well, I love you so much, but
hey,
dude,
the check cleared, you know?
Yeah.
the check cleared. Look.
Job's a job.
A jorb is a jorb is a jorb is a jorb. I'm all in on taking that money. All right. I may be a coward, but I'm a greedy little coward. Daffy Duck. All right, let's see. I skipped right over it. We'll talk about Battlefield Earth later. That'll be a whole other panel. It probably won't. It probably won't.
Thanks. I don't want to watch it again. Thank you. Yeah.
Now here is a question from. By the way, I would like to add that I'm very pleased that the person who submitted the Narn question said your favorite Michael, because that does not narrow it down. And so now the next time, over the course of our interactions with all the Michaels on the Sci-Fi Classic Track Clubhouse, Gary's going to wonder, is this one my favorite? Is he the one? Nobody's going to know. All right, except for his favorite Michael. All right, now let's see. Here we go. This one is from Kevin Cafferty. Our friend Kevin. Which 4 characters would you put on the Mount Rushmore of Saturday morning cartoons? Let's start with other Gary.
Let's see. Fred Flintstone, Hong Kong Phooey, Speed Buggy, and Thundar the Barbarian.
Oh my gosh.
Yes,
I love it.
That's a strong lineup. Strong lineup, sir.
I love it. Mr. Ultimate Gary?
I have to put Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
Scooby-Dum. Dino Mutt. And Grape Ape.
Grape Ape. Would he be to scale? Grape Ape.
Of course. He'd be the only one that's actually life-size.
He's going to be 40 feet taller than all the other Mount Rushmore heads. Yes. I love it.
A little more carving, but worth it. Yes.
Look, it's our Mount Rushmore. What are you going to do?
Yeah. How about you, Joe? What about you?
Let's see. Saturday morning cartoons.
Sherman Burris, you go to hell.
No Scrappy Doo. We don't mention Scrappy Doo. You know, they say that, you know, the people you were characters you were angry at years ago when you were a kid, you know, sometimes you come back around on them, you're like, well, maybe, but not Scrappy Doo. Still,
there are lines that can't be crossed. Yes,
there are lines that can't be crossed, and my 4 on the Mount Rushmore of Saturday morning cartoons would all come from the Scooby-Doo movies, and those would be Don Knotts. Don Knotts, Don Smart, Donnie Most from Happy Days, and also Fonz and the Happy Days Gang, and finally, of course, Mama Cass from Mamas and or the Papas. Thank you. I
have to let you know, Jabberjaw was almost made it.
Dang it. Mamas and or the Papas. Okay, now let us go to a question from our friend Lee Tyberg.
Hey!
Here is your topic: Kitty Pryde's parade of terrible boyfriends.
Ooh.
And the fact that so many of them are named Peter.
Hey, you're right.
Yeah, and I didn't think about that. And then when I read the question, I was like, oh. Because, of course, you have...
So we're saying that Kitty Pryde has a thing for Peter.
What time is it, Gary? It's your birthday, but look.
Oh, jeez. Where's the explicit tag on this place? Come on.
He said, I haven't been booted yet. And I said to him, it's your birthday, so maybe I'll give you a free pass. But that did not happen, Gary Mitchel. There it is.
Yeah, he's down on the bottom now. Shame.
See, because I am the one that supports this whole shit place. I am the bedrock.
I got an entire, please check out the Facebook group if you have not seen my work of genius. I got an entire pro wrestling audience to boo Gary Mitchel. They don't know him. They've never met him.
It was glorious.
If they did, it would be something like that. That would be the reason. But one of my crowning achievements in the pro wrestling industry, not my only crowning achievement. I'm 1-0. I'm undefeated. But that's a panel for another time. Because Gary has not yet challenged me. He's challenged me. He just.
Hey, don't put your finger there.
All right. Anyway, I digress.
Bad touch.
Kitty
touched me there.
Yes. Terrible boyfriends. Right now, currently in the X-Men comics, I believe that she is not. She is. I don't know what the romantic situation is with her, but historically speaking, problematic. Her relationship with Peter Rasputin, and I did not realize that until there's a podcast that I really enjoy. It's called Explain the X-Men. It's called Jay and Miles Explain the X-Men. And yes, that's how it starts. They use the X-Men cartoon theme song. Sidebar: how cool is it? They're doing new X-Men cartoons.
That's insane. I went back and replayed it. I'm like, you're bringing back the 97 X-Men, not in the same drawing style too. I'm like, really?
Yeah. You see,
it wasn't that good the first time. I enjoyed it, but let's face it, guys. On a scale of 10, it's somewhere around a 4.5.
It's the animation is not super strong.
I mean, it's not like quality like filmation stuff, but
Batman the animated series was happening at the same time.
Yep,
they had access to quality.
But I'm just hoping it does well so that we get the revival of Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends.
That's the one they should do. Yeah.
Okay, so where were we? Explain the X-Men.
Question. Yes.
Everybody go to that podcast.
Yeah. We got to get the question at some point.
Yeah.
The question being, Kitty Pryde's boyfriends. Yeah. What the heck?
Is this a family show?
Sure. Go ahead.
Oh, it is a family show. Well,
no.
Yeah, Manson family.
Maybe she's got a thing for dragons.
Maybe.
Lockheed is always around through all the Peters.
I mean, I said it earlier and got booted for it. I got to stand by that comment.
Yes.
I know
in and I know that in the Ultimates, she actually dated Peter Parker for a while. So
I think that is the third. Peter. I can only think of 3 Peters. There was a Peter Corbeau. He was maybe.
There was a Peter Wisdom.
Pete Wisdom. That's who I was thinking of. Michael Corbeau is the other guy. He did not date. That's a fictional Michael. Pete Wisdom, the British guy. He's the one who dated Kitty. Yes, you are correct. Other Gary, thank you for that. Captain Britain and MI-13, excellent comic series with Pete Wisdom. Yes. And Peter Rasputin, though, not a minor like Kitty Pryde was when they dated. Not cool. Gross in retrospect. But anyway, and then he went off to the Secret Wars planet, and that it was a whole thing, you guys. We'll go into it. We have like a 5 podcast series. We'll get into that later. All right. So what we're saying, I believe, is that Kitty Pryde, poor choice in men, excellent choice in dragons.
Yes.
Let's see. We got a couple of more good questions here. We got lots of good questions. Here are a couple more from our friend Beck Pano. Ice cream pairings. What ice cream flavor would you pair with a cannibal feast upon the other Gary? So, Gary, yeah, that's probably a good idea. Gary Mitchell, what ice cream pairs with consumption of other Gary?
I am going to say Rocky Road, because the marshmallow bits will help you get over the hair.
Why? What is happening?
I should have rethought coming on this. No,
lot of regrets.
yeah.
Lot of regrets. All right, Gary Lindros. What ice cream pairs with consumption of Gary Mitchell?
I'm going to say a nice raspberry sorbet to cleanse the palate afterwards. That's what I'm looking for, because I really don't want to keep tasting that once I'm done with it. Yes.
You got to get that raspberry.
Yeah.
The raspberry sorbet is delicious, by the way.
Oh, you're well aware then. Okay, that's good.
So
Okay,
yeah. So it's a raspberry to go with my berries.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know. Thank you for that comment.
That is Chris Cummins.
Ladies and gentlemen. All right.
Yeah, the grand pope of gritty, Chris Cummins.
I would like to. I don't know that I've told Chris Cummins in person about this, but yeah, hang on. Lingers on the palate. Speaking of things that linger on the palate, Chris Cummins gifted me with a lovely bottle of gritty sauce.
Yes.
And I have put it on everything, and it is wonderful. I don't know what gritty made it out of.
You don't want to know.
Gritty squeezed to put it in the jar, but it is.
Yeah. And the odd thing is, the gritty sauce isn't gritty.
No, not at all. It goes down smooth.
Gritty, he goes down smooth.
Gritty goes down smooth. Okay. Now, here is another question. This is a big one. Maybe we'll wrap up with this one. Gary, if I forget to say it, happy birthday, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
This is the most fun thing. I am so excited that we all get to gather together around the campfire, the internet campfire, and do these things every couple of weeks. This
is the most fun thing I'm doing at this moment.
Yeah, that is correct. Here is a question. It is from our friend Billy Brooks. Who would Gary choose for an ultimate zombie apocalypse survival team? However, you only have option. You have five. You have a choice of 5 people. You may choose 3 out of the following 5. Helpfully provided by Billy Brooks. Cobra Commander, the Governor from The Walking Dead, Sid Haig as Dragos from Jason of Star Command, deep cut 5 stars. 4th, a taller than average Sleestack. And finally, Dr. Smith from Lost in Space. 3 for your ultimate zombie apocalypse survival team. Whoever wants to go first. You got your governor from The Walking Dead.
I will allow the other Gary.
Let's see.
He's deferring to other Gary.
Let's see. I'll go with the governor,
Joe?
the Sleestack, and the guy from Star Command.
Nice, Sid Haig.
Sid Haig, yeah.
Sid Haig he'll hurt somebody.
Well, I think he'll protect me from the governor at some point. So
I think that is very likely that he will have to do that.
yes.
Okay, Mr. Mitchell.
I will.
You got your governor, you got your Cobra Commander, you got your taller than average Sleestack. That's about it.
I'm going to have to choose Dr. Smith for his science background.
Yes.
He's killed.
And Cobra Commander for his tactical ability, in that he has none. And so he and Dr. Smith will be continually trying to prove whichever one is the real leader, so I can just sit back and be amused.
Might be a nice argument.
Just watching them trade insults would be a joy and would help pass the time in the apocalypse. And purely for sentimental reasons, it has to be the taller than average Sleestack. Yes, that is exactly it, Kevin.
That's a good course of action. Yes.
And this is an evergreen comment from Beck right there.
Mm-hmm.
They just leave that up.
I'm just trying to figure out what she's doing in that picture.
Hang on. This is also good. They don't care how cold it is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you guys, we have had an awesome time. Thank you, Other Gary. Thank you, Ultimate Gary. We will convene for another Battleground competition sooner than a year from now. Mm-hmm. Maybe what I'll do is
the Other Gary title is too heavy of a burden to carry for an entire year.
Yeah, for an entire year. Maybe what I'll do is...
It's a glorious title. I don't know what you mean. I am the Other Gary as opposed to Gary Mitchel. See, the Other Gary. It's
you got some dramatis in there.
Don't be jealous. One day it will be yours.
Oh, nicely done. So I think at some random time, what I'll do is I'll invite Other Gary. Oh, we're going to talk about Crusade, that show with Gary Cole that was on at 3 a.m. on alternate Tuesdays on TNT, and we'll get a big B5 guy. So. And then surprise, Ultimate Gary competition.
Oh, you never know.
I thought we were talking about Gary Cole.
Yeah.
Much like Shia LaBeouf, it comes out
Gary
of nowhere.
Cole edition next time. But let me ask all of you guys this. Who are you? What do you do? Where can you be found, if you wish to be found, on the interwebs, starting with Ultimate Gary Mitchel?
You can find me here every other Thursday with him, or here on the Twitter and on our Facebook group. I'm also going to be, I was on the last week's episode of the Flopcast, and I will be on this week's episode of the Flopcast talking about the Brat Pack. And I am also going to be on an upcoming episode of Execute Chapter 66, the best Star Wars podcast you should be listening to, talking about Tarkin. So we're talking Tarkin.
Nice.
That's nice. Did you just think of... okay. And Other Gary, where can people find you?
I am slightly quiet at the moment, but we're getting ready to start back up with the Babylon podcast. Once JMS puts out the new pilot, we're already starting to get material together. So that should be coming up soon. It's we're on most podcatchers, Apple, iTunes, all those type of things. Babylon podcast. So we'll be back soon.
So you're going to wait until JMS
really starts. Yeah, it has a little bit more. He's been giving us little teases, and CW has green lighted a pilot for a remake. So it's coming out. So we're cranking the show back up. We ran it for about 7 years. We've been
longer than the actual show existed, just like MASH.
Yes, exactly. So, so we took a break. We came back when they did a few little extra teaser on it. But now we'll be back for our second return. So hopefully it'll hang around a little bit more. I know all the B5 people, including people who know about Crusade, are really interested in the new show that's going to come up. So I have high hopes. He's got a good track record of bringing in things on time for cheap money. So I think I will be very anxious to see it.
And if you haven't read JMS's book, do that.
Oh, which one? He's put out like 3. His autobiography was amazing.
The autobiography, I guess, is the one.
Yeah, Becoming Superman.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah, even as a JMS fan for years, the stuff I learned in there was shocking. Yeah.
Tons. Well, I think it's stuff that he just at that point had discovered. It wasn't anything that he had not written about. He just found out. And nutso. Bonkers. Yeah. Brutal, yes. But here is, as Ultimate Gary said, you can find us every 2 weeks right here. If you're on YouTube right now, this is us. This is where we are. If you're on the Facebook, facebook.com/groups/American Sci-Fi Classics. If you're elsewhere on the YouTube, or if you're in Gadsden, Alabama on a random Saturday night, I'm a pro wrestling announcer at Spartan Pro Wrestling. And I've only once gotten kicked in the head.
Only once?
Only once.
Wow.
Only once gotten kicked in the head, and I did win a battle royal once. Story for another time. Spartan Pro Wrestling. Check that out on YouTube. We have a weekly hour-long show. It's free to watch, and you will enjoy it, and you will enjoy watching me scamper for my life from giant dudes. Last week in live action, I announced from inside a steel cage, and it was amazing and also terrifying. Thank you guys very much. Other Gary, Ultimate Gary, Mr. Lindros, Mr. Mitchell, everybody in the comments, everybody in the Classic Track Clubhouse. We love you guys. We will see you soon. Keep watching all of our stuff on the YouTube. Share it with your enemies and also your friends. Happy Thanksgiving. We will see you. Well, we're going to have stuff up for the Thanksgiving times.
Yes. Our annual Turkey Day. Yes, our annual Turkey Day potluck. Our good friends from various musical acts and podcasts are put together a cornucopia of shenanigans for you to enjoy that we will post on the YouTube. Please come and watch the next Thursday, because what else are you going to do? Watch a football game? Talk to your family? Ugh.
Football.
No, nobody needs. Now, I'm not trying to yuck anybody's yum if you're into the football, but secret that I learned in pro wrestling, football, it's all fake.
Yeah.
Scripted. 100% scripted.
Yeah, I mean, just...
And with that, in 2 weeks... Go ahead. Gary, yes, Gary Mitchell.
Oh, I was just going to make a joke about cheating quarterbacks who used to be in Boston. No, I'm going to say that in 2 weeks, though, our next live broadcast is Sci-Fi Feast, Best Science Fiction Franchises. And this is strictly movie series that have at least 3 entries. Sorry, Mannequin.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's that. Hang on. Let me erase that from my list. Apparently, something can stop us now. Boom! Ladies and gentlemen, I win! I win!
We need to just cut on that. You can't improve.
We're cutting. We're cutting right now. Joe wins. We're cutting. See you guys next time.